everyone. Welcome to M's English Academy. My name is Mrinalini and I am here to make English grammar learning interesting, simple, and fun. On this channel, I'll be sharing some tips and lessons to remember some of the toughest grammar concepts. If you are a student who is struggling to stay awake during the long, boring grammar lessons, subscribe to my channel right now by hitting that button to learn grammar in a fun way. Since this is my first ever video, I am going to start with the most important topic, tenses. There are 12 tenses, and today we are going to learn about simple tense. So, first of all, what is a verb tense? Verb tenses help us to understand when the action took place and for how long. There are three main tenses which you might know for sure, which are past, present, and future. And these can be divided into simple past, simple present, simple future, past progressive, present progressive, future progressive, past perfect, present perfect, future perfect, and past perfect progressive, present perfect progressive, and future perfect progressive. So, as I said, today we are going to look at simple tenses. So, what is a simple verb tense? It is a category that describes a single action or a repeated action. They are called simple because you don't have to use any additional verbs unlike the other tenses. So, what's a simple present tense? You have to pay attention here because most of my students always get confused with simple present tense and simple present progressive tense. We will be learning about progressive tenses in our next video. So, what is a simple present tense? It is used to describe a habit or a routine, a fact or a universal truth, scheduled events based on timetables, and states or feelings. The structure that you will have to use for simple present tense is this: subject, which is about whom or what we are talking about in the sentence, the base verb, plus s if it is a singular subject, and if it is a plural subject you need not add an s to it unless it is I. So, though I is singular, we don't use s along with the verb. Let's look at some examples. I usually wake up at 6 a.m., which is a habit or a routine. The subject here is I and the verb is wake. So it is subject plus the verb, and there is no s here since it is I, which is first person. I usually wake up at 6 a.m. The earth revolves around the sun. This is a fact because it never changes. The earth is the subject plus the verb, which is revolve, plus s since the subject is singular here. The third example is English class starts at 3 p.m., which is a scheduled event. So the subject here is English class and the verb here is starts. And we are adding an s along with the verb since it is a singular subject. English class starts at 3 p.m. The fourth one, which is a feeling or a state which you cannot change, which is like it's something that you have, right? It never changes. So the example for that is Rita hates chocolates. So it is a state of mind, her state, her taste. Okay, so here the subject is Rita and it is a singular subject. The verb here is hate, and we add s along with the verb since it is a singular subject. Let's look at simple past tense. Simple past tense is used to describe a completed action in the past. So the action is over, it's already done. The structure that you use for simple past tense is subject plus the base verb plus D or ED or IED if it is a regular verb. So regular verbs are words where you have to add D or ED or IED to make it into its past tense form. Some of the examples for regular verbs are jump. When you add ED to it, it becomes jumped. Dance, danced. Carry, carried. These are regular verbs. Whereas irregular verbs, you will not add D, ED or IED. You will have to change the whole word itself. For examples, for example, write becomes wrote, speak becomes spoke. So these are all called irregular verbs. So there are a lot of irregular verbs which I will be teaching you maybe in one of the videos. So if it is regular verb, you will have to add D, ED or IED to make it into simple past tense form. Some of the examples are I carried the heavy bag to school yesterday. So the action is done, it's already over. And in this sentence, the subject is I and the verb is carry. So we add IED to the verb to make it into its past tense form. Jackson danced really well. Jackson is the subject here and dance is the verb, and we add ed to it to make it into its past tense form. Can you think of a sentence with an irregular verb? And you can share it on the comment below. Let's look at simple future tense. This is something that's very easy. So simple future tense is used to describe future actions, an action that we will do later, predictions like maybe weather or something like that, and promises. The structure that you will have to use here is subject plus will plus the base verb. Let's look at some examples here. I will call you later. This is an action that you will do later. Okay. I is the subject, will to show that it is future tense, and call is the verb here. It will rain heavily tomorrow. It is the subject here. Will rain is the verb. Rain is the verb, and you are adding will along with it to make it into its future tense, and this is a prediction. I will definitely meet you tomorrow, which is a promise. I is the subject. You add will along with the verb, which is meet. I will definitely meet you tomorrow. So these are all simple tenses. Let's try to give answers for these sentences. Okay, so you will have to guess the tense of the following sentences. And please give me your answers on the comment box below. I will go to the school tomorrow. Akash and his parents go for a walk. Sam ate the apple. Okay. So I'm going to attach a worksheet for simple tenses and I will be sharing a Drive link along with this video. You can check it in the details below the video. And when you click it, you get into the document and you will be able to download the PDF form of it. And maybe if you don't want to download it, you can just look at it and write your answers. This way you will be able to practice a lot. So click the video, the link of the document and don't forget to subscribe. So please do subscribe to learn more about tenses and a lot of other grammar topics as well. Thank you.